One night, one habit, one heartbeat too late. It was a calm evening when I got the call. A patient of mine, 72 years old, no major illnesses, still walking his dog every afternoon, had passed away in his sleep. Peacefully, quietly, no pain. But also without warning. His wife found him early the next morning. The blanket was still wrapped over his head. The fan was still humming beside the bed. Dinner dishes were still in the sink. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, except, of course, that he wasn't breathing. As a doctor, I've seen this kind of story play out far too often, and yet, every time it breaks me a little more, because most people think that sleep is the safest part of the day. But in reality, some of the most dangerous things we do to our heart happen at night, while we're asleep, and we don't even know it. Not because we mean to, but because the very habits that bring us comfort, the soft pillow, the warm blanket, the quiet nap after dinner, can sometimes put silent pressure on the heart, until one night it gives out. This video isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up, before your heart doesn't. So stay with me, please, because in the next few minutes, I'll walk you through 5 common sleep habits that seem harmless, but could be silently damaging your heart, your lungs, and your brain, especially if you're over 60. And more importantly, I'll show you how to change them, easily, gently, and safely. So grab a blanket, but don't cover your head with it. Sit back, and let's take a closer look at the 5 bedtime habits that could quietly put your heart at risk. 5 harmful bedtime habits that can lead to heart failure. Habit number 1. Sleeping slouched at a desk or chair, a posture that can stop the heart. Let me take you back to a quiet evening in late autumn. The kind of evening when the wind outside whispers through the trees, the television murmurs in the background, and the body, after a long day, begins to give in to fatigue. Now picture a man, Mr. Allen, 78 years old, living alone in a small Midwestern town. A kind gentleman who spent his younger days working as a school teacher. His children have grown, his wife passed away years ago, and these days, his evening companion is a rerun of the nightly news and a cup of chamomile tea. Like many seniors, Mr. Allen often found it difficult to fall asleep in bed. The mattress felt too firm, or maybe the silence of the bedroom was too loud. So he developed a habit, an innocent one at first glance. After dinner, he'd sit in his favorite armchair, a deep wooden rocker near the window. And gradually, as the night wore on, he'd nod off right there, his head leaning forward, chin against his chest, arms folded across his belly. Harmless, right? That's what we all used to think. Until the night he didn't wake up. His neighbor found him the next morning, still in the chair, still gently slumped over, but without a pulse. No struggle, no sign of distress, just gone. Now, as a physician, I've seen cases like this far too many times, and it never gets easier to explain to families how something so simple, so ordinary, can turn deadly. Why is sleeping slouched so dangerous? Let's break it down. When you fall asleep while sitting at a desk or in a chair, especially with your upper body leaning forward, your chest compresses. This reduces your lung expansion and restricts airflow. The neck is bent at an unnatural angle, putting pressure on the carotid arteries that carry blood to your brain. The diaphragm, which helps your lungs expand and contract, is also restricted. But the real issue lies in how this posture affects your heart. The heart is a powerful muscle, but like any muscle, it struggles under pressure. When you're curled over, the flow of blood becomes obstructed. The vessels are partially pinched, and now, your heart has to work harder to push blood through narrower paths. This extra strain isn't just inconvenient, it can be fatal, especially if you already have underlying cardiovascular issues like hypertension, atherosclerosis, or an irregular heartbeat. A recent study in Japan found that improper sleep posture increased the risk of sudden nighttime death by over 40%. Particularly in elderly individuals with known heart conditions. Let that sink in, 40% higher risk, just from how you fall asleep. The body's response while you sleep. When we sleep, our body's ease naturally shift into a restorative mode. The heart rate slows, blood pressure drops, and the brain cycles through vital stages of repair and memory consolidation. But when you sleep in a cramped, slouched position, your body can't relax. It struggles to breathe, your oxygen levels dip, and your heart races to compensate. Many seniors already have compromised circulation or reduced lung capacity. Add a poor posture to the mix, and the heart begins to falter under the strain. You may not notice it until one night it simply stops. In Mr. Allen's case, it was a combination of factors: a heavy dinner, a drafty living room, and a sleep posture that robbed his heart of the circulation it needed. No drama, no warning, just silence. What you can do instead. Now, I'm not telling you never to nap in a chair or doze off for a few minutes while reading. We all do it. But I urge you, when sleepiness becomes more than a momentary yawn, move to your bed. Here's what proper sleep posture should look like. Your head is aligned with your spine, not tilted forward. Your chest is open and unconstricted, allowing full lung expansion. Your arms are relaxed by your side or across your body, not hanging or compressed. Your legs are slightly bent, and your body is lying flat or on your side, not hunched. This position keeps your airway open, your spine supported, and your circulation flowing freely. It gives your heart a break, a chance to rest, recover, and prepare for another day of life. What I tell my patients. I tell my patients this: sleep isn't just rest, it's repair. But your body can't heal if it's fighting for oxygen all night long. If you find it hard to fall asleep in bed, try the following tips. Wind down with a routine. A warm foot soak, soft music, or dim lighting can ease the transition from wakefulness to rest. Make your bed inviting. Use supportive pillows, soft blankets, and a slightly raised head position if needed. Set a timer. If you must nap in your chair, set an alarm so you don't fall into a deep, prolonged sleep in that posture. Move with intention. When your eyelids grow heavy, view it as a signal, not to settle deeper into the chair, but to gently rise, brush your teeth, and retreat to a proper bed. A final word. Mr. Allen's story isn't meant to frighten you. It's meant to remind us all that the small things matter. A nap in the wrong position may seem innocent, but over time, these moments can add up. Or worse, one night might be all it takes. Your heart deserves the chance to beat freely, to rest, to heal. So tonight, when you feel the drowsiness come on, ask yourself, have I given my heart the best place to sleep? Because one small change, a few extra steps to the bedroom, a few seconds to lie down properly, could be the reason you wake up to greet the sun tomorrow. Habit number 2, sleeping with your head fully covered by a blanket, a silent strain on the heart and lungs. Let me tell you a story that still sits heavy on my heart. It was a frigid winter morning in the suburbs of Boston. The sun had not yet risen, and the air outside was biting cold, one of those mornings where even the thought of getting out from under the covers makes you shiver. I received a call from a colleague. An elderly patient had passed away overnight. Her name was Mrs. Evelyn Moore, a 92-year-old widow, beloved by her family, known for her quiet grace and love for knitting. Her daughter had found her that morning, curled up under a heavy wool blanket, her head completely covered, just as she had every night since her arthritis made her feel cold, even in heated rooms. Evelyn looked peaceful, but she hadn't made it through the night. There were no signs of distress, no calls for help, just stillness. When the autopsy results came back, they pointed to a common but tragic cause: sudden cardiac arrest brought on by respiratory failure during sleep. The heartbreaking part? It was preventable. The danger beneath the blanket. Many seniors, perhaps even you, have a habit of pulling the blanket all the way over your head during cold nights. It seems harmless. In fact, it might even feel comforting, like being wrapped up in a warm cocoon. But here's what most people don't realize. That warm cocoon becomes a closed chamber where the oxygen depletes quickly and carbon dioxide, the gas your body exhales, starts to build up around your mouth and nose. Imagine breathing in and out in a paper bag all night long. Over time, oxygen levels drop, CO2 levels rise, and your body enters a dangerous state called hypoxia, a shortage of oxygen in the blood. Now your heart, already tired from the day, begins to panic. It beats faster, harder, trying desperately to push what little oxygen is available to your brain and vital organs. Your lungs, struggling for air, may not get enough circulation. The brain becomes foggy, the muscles starve, and in some tragic cases, the heart simply gives out. Signs you might be suffering and not even know it. You might be thinking, I do this all the time and I'm fine. But pay close attention. Have you ever woken up with a heavy head as if it were filled with sand? Dry mouth or sore throat? Unexplained dizziness when standing up? Memory lapses or confusion, especially in the morning? Heart palpitations at night? These could all be signs that your body isn't getting enough oxygen during sleep. And over time, the damage compounds, leading to chronic fatigue, elevated blood pressure, cognitive decline, or even sudden cardiac events in your sleep. The heart and lungs, partners in danger. Let's be clear, your heart and lungs are a team. When one struggles, the other suffers. Covering your head under a blanket traps not only carbon dioxide, but also warm, moist air, which raises humidity levels around your face and makes breathing more difficult, especially for those with asthma, COPD, or even mild allergies. The result is an invisible battle happening every night. Your lungs fighting to filter dirty air, and your heart overworking just to keep you alive. For a younger person, this might be manageable, but for a senior, especially one over 65, this stress can be too much. A real-life reminder. I once cared for a patient, Mr. Stanley, a retired Navy officer who prided himself on his toughness. I don't feel cold, he'd always say. But during one particularly brutal winter, he began pulling the covers over his face at night. He told me, "It helps me feel safe, Doc. I sleep better that way." But the truth was, he didn't. His blood oxygen levels were dipping below 90% by morning. His memory was fading, and his blood pressure was becoming more erratic. When we finally convinced him to sleep with his head uncovered, using thermal sleepwear and a warm neck wrap instead, his symptoms began to reverse. Within 2 weeks, his mornings were clearer, his blood pressure steadier, and he no longer needed a second pillow to catch his breath. Doctor's advice: let your head breathe. So what can you do? It's simple, and it could save your life. Never sleep with your head fully under a blanket, no matter how cold it is. Instead, try these alternatives. Thermal sleepwear. Long-sleeve pajamas made of fleece or wool can keep you warm without suffocating you. Warm headwear. Use a soft, breathable sleep cap if your head feels cold, but never cover your mouth and nose. Layered blankets. Use multiple lighter blankets instead of one heavy one. It traps heat better and prevents overheating. Draft blockers and insulated curtains. Reduce cold airflow in the room so you won't feel tempted to bury yourself. Leave a pathway for fresh air. If you use thick blankets, tuck them only up to your shoulders, not over your face. Your nose and mouth must stay uncovered. Ventilate your bedroom, even in winter. Allow for slight air circulation. Crack a window or use a quiet fan at the far end of the room. Let the air in, let your heart rest. Sleep should be a time of restoration, not silent suffocation. I know the temptation is real. We want to feel warm, safe, cocooned. But let me ask you this. Would you rather feel warm for a few hours or wake up every morning healthy and alive? The fresh air your lungs need is not your enemy. It is your body's lifeline. So tonight, before you lie down and pull the covers over your shoulders, pause. Take a deep breath. Make sure your head is uncovered. Whisper to yourself, "This breath is life," because it is. And I promise you, your heart will thank you for it tomorrow morning. Habit No. 3, going to sleep immediately after a heavy meal. the hidden heart strain you never see coming. Let me take you back to a night that started like any other. It was a chilly Sunday evening. Mr. Harold Thompson, 78 years old, a retired railway mechanic, had just finished dinner with his grandkids. His daughter had made his favorite, beef stew with buttery bread, followed by a warm slice of apple pie. Harold, as always, was cheerful, telling stories, laughing heartily, and helping clear the dishes. But after everyone left, he felt tired, full, satisfied, and so, without thinking much of it, he waddled over to his living room couch, pulled a blanket up to his chest, and drifted off to sleep, just 20 minutes after finishing a large meal. That was the last night Harold ever saw. His wife found him just before midnight. He hadn't stirred. No struggle, no cries. Just a quiet, peaceful appearance. And a stopped heart. What went wrong? The problem isn't the meal, it's the timing. As a physician, I've seen this scenario play out more times than I can count, not just in emergency rooms, but in long-term care facilities, family homes, even nursing residences. The pattern is always eerily similar: a heavy dinner, a full belly, immediate rest, or worse, immediate sleep. And then, without warning, a cardiac event, a stroke, or a bout of intense reflux that leads to choking, coughing fits, or silent oxygen deprivation. Here's why this happens. When you eat, especially a large meal, your stomach begins to expand. This expansion presses upward on the diaphragm, the thin muscle that helps your lungs draw in air and your heart pump efficiently. When compressed, the diaphragm can't move freely. The lungs lose volume. The heart is squeezed. At the same time, your body begins to redirect blood flow to your digestive system. It pulls oxygen-rich blood away from the brain and the heart to handle digestion, leaving your critical organs temporarily undersupplied. Now imagine this whole scenario playing out while you're lying flat, barely awake, your stomach full and heavy, your heart straining to pump blood in a squeezed space. You see where I'm going? The vicious domino effect. In older adults, especially those with heart conditions, diabetes, or high blood pressure, these physiological shifts can tip the balance toward disaster. Reduced oxygen levels due to shallow breathing, sluggish blood flow, creating conditions for clots, increased acid reflux, which can trigger choking or sleep apnea, increased risk of nighttime strokes or heart attacks, especially between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m., when the body is most vulnerable. In fact, several cardiology studies have shown that seniors who eat heavy dinners and lie down within 30 minutes have a significantly higher risk of nocturnal cardiovascular events, even when no other symptoms are present. But I've always done this. The illusion of safety. Many of my older patients tell me, "Doctor, I've been eating and resting after dinner my whole life. It never caused any problems." And I understand that. But the aging body isn't what it used to be. The muscle tone is lower, the arteries are stiffer, the stomach empties slower, and the heart, although still beating strong, is less forgiving. What was safe at 40 may no longer be safe at 75. Let me share another patient story. Mrs. Lee, 82 years old, once told me she loved eating a big bowl of noodle soup before bed. It helped her fall asleep faster. But she also complained of waking up gasping for air, with chest tightness and burning in her throat. She thought it was asthma, but it was nocturnal reflux, worsened by lying down after a meal. That reflux was triggering arrhythmias, irregular heartbeats, while she slept. Once we adjusted her dinner schedule and encouraged her to walk gently after eating, those symptoms disappeared. Doctor's advice: wait, walk, and then rest. Here's what I recommend to all my senior patients, and I tell you this with care, not criticism. Give yourself at least 30 minutes, ideally 1 hour, between dinner and bedtime. Let your stomach process the food while your body is upright. Take a light walk after dinner, just 5 to 10 minutes around the living room or down the hallway. This improves digestion and lowers post-meal blood sugar spikes. Avoid lying completely flat if you're very full. Sit upright, lean back slightly with good support. Even reclining at a 45-degree angle is better than being horizontal. Choose lighter, heart-friendly meals in the evening. Steamed fish, soups, lightly cooked vegetables, porridge, or a small salad are ideal. Avoid fried, greasy, or very spicy foods at night. If you must eat late, keep portions small. One boiled egg, half a slice of toast, or warm milk can curb hunger without overloading your system. Signs that you may be at risk. Please pay attention to how your body reacts after dinner. Do you experience burping or bloating, chest tightness or heart palpitations, coughing fits or choking when lying down, feeling unusually tired or breathless after meals? These are signs that your heart and stomach are struggling to work together during digestion. Don't ignore them. Think of your heart like a worker after hours. I like to use this metaphor with my patients. Imagine your heart as a construction worker who's been laboring all day. By the time dinner is done, he's ready to go home, take off his boots, and rest. But if you give him a giant pile of bricks to carry, while also tying his arms behind his back and making him walk uphill, how long do you think he'll last? That's what your heart feels like when you go to bed full and expect it to work overtime in cramped conditions. Let it rest. Let your body do one thing at a time. Digest first, sleep second, a small change that saves lives. Remember Mr. Harold? His family later told me that they had noticed this habit for years, but it never seemed harmful. It was just something he did. That's how most habits are. They seem harmless, until they aren't. So tonight, after dinner, take a slow stroll. Sit in your favorite chair. Read a few pages of a book. Drink a warm cup of herbal tea. And only when you feel your body lighten, then go to bed. Because the food you eat should nourish you, not burden your heart. And a good night's sleep should be just that. Good. Habit number 4. Sleeping with a fan blowing directly on you, a breeze that can freeze the heart. It was the kind of summer night that clings to your skin. The air was thick, the ceiling fan spun lazily, and outside, crickets buzzed in rhythmic waves. In a quiet farmhouse in Georgia, Mr. Raymond Grant, age 81, sat by the window, wiping sweat from his forehead. The heat was unbearable, even with the windows open. So he did what many of us would do. He turned on his standing fan to the highest setting and pointed it straight at his chest. Raymond loved that fan, said it helped him breathe easier, helped him sleep faster. But the next morning, his son came by to bring him breakfast. Raymond never answered the door. He was found lying still on his bed, the fan still humming, blowing cool air across his motionless chest. Another peaceful sleep. That had become permanent, the hidden risk behind a cooling comfort. Now, I don't blame Raymond. I've slept with a fan on myself, so have millions of Americans, especially in summer or in regions where air conditioning isn't always available or affordable. But as a doctor, I've come to understand that what feels good for our skin may not always be good for our hearts, especially as we age. Here's why. When you sleep, your body naturally lowers its core temperature. This is part of the circadian rhythm that signals to your brain that it's time to rest and repair. Your blood vessels dilate slightly to allow heat to escape. Your heart rate slows. Everything becomes softer, slower, calmer. Now imagine a cold gust of air, hour after hour, blowing directly at your chest, your back, or worse, your neck and face. That gentle breeze may feel soothing at first, but it confuses the body. Your blood vessels suddenly constrict to conserve heat. The muscles around your shoulders tense up. Your neck becomes stiff, and your heart, sensing a drop in surface temperature, starts to work harder to stabilize your internal environment. The physiology of a midnight storm. Let's dig deeper into what's happening inside the body during this fan exposure. Sudden vasoconstriction. The cold air causes blood vessels to tighten, especially in the chest and neck area. This raises blood pressure, And in someone with already fragile arteries, this is dangerous. Increased heart strain. The heart must now pump against resistance. If you have a history of hypertension, this could trigger arrhythmia or even a heart attack. Disrupted breathing. If the fan is aimed at your face, it can dry out your nasal passages or trigger bronchial irritation, leading to shallow breathing or coughing during sleep. Muscle stiffness. Prolonged exposure to cold air while the body is in a relaxed state can lead to frozen shoulders, neck pain, or worsened arthritis. And here's the worst part. All of this happens quietly, while you're asleep. You won't feel the warning signs until it's too late. The story of Aunt Lillian. A few summers ago, I had a patient named Lillian, a 76-year-old woman with a strong will and a soft spot for nighttime reading. She'd often fall asleep with a floor fan pointed directly at her, while curled up with her mystery novels. She came to see me complaining of morning headaches, tightness in her chest, and chronic fatigue. Her blood pressure was erratic, and her oxygen saturation dropped slightly at night. At first, we suspected sleep apnea, but after we adjusted her fan placement, simply moved it across the room, on low setting, pointed away from her body, everything changed. Her headaches vanished, her sleep became deeper, her heart rate normalized. Sometimes, the smallest environmental factor can cause the biggest disturbance. Doctor's advice: don't eliminate the fan. Use it wisely. Fans are not the enemy. In fact, they help circulate air and can aid in sleep quality, but only when used thoughtfully. Position the fan away from your body. Let it oscillate or bounce air off a wall instead of aiming directly at you. Use low or medium settings. Avoid blasting cold air on your chest, neck, or feet throughout the entire night. Set a timer. Use an automatic shut-off feature after 1-2 hours, just long enough to help you fall asleep. Wear light, breathable sleepwear. This helps regulate your body temperature naturally without needing excessive airflow. Consider alternative cooling methods: a cool shower before bed, open windows for cross-ventilation, or placing a bowl of ice near the fan to chill the room air without direct exposure. But it helps me sleep. I know what you might be thinking. But doctor, I can't sleep without it. That may be true, for now, but I ask you, at what cost? If the price of comfort is morning fatigue, joint pain, or a strained heart, is it worth it? Remember, the older we get, the less resilient our cardiovascular system becomes. The blood vessels stiffen, the heart becomes more sensitive, sleep becomes more precious. Why gamble with it? Signs that fan use may be harming you. Take note if you experience the following after sleeping with a fan blowing on you: tightness in your chest in the morning, sore neck or shoulders, morning headaches, excessive sneezing or sinus dryness, feeling unusually tired or dizzy upon waking. These are not normal signs of aging. They may be your body's cry for gentler care, a final story, and a gentle challenge. My last visit to Raymond's home was with his son, who tearfully told me, "Dad loved that fan. He wouldn't sleep without it." And I understand, but if we could go back in time, I'd ask Raymond just one thing. Could we move the fan to the corner of the room? Could we let the air cool the space but not attack your heart directly? That one small change might have made a difference. So tonight, as you prepare for bed and reach to turn on your fan, I challenge you, adjust it. Not because I'm asking, but because your heart, your lungs, your brain, they're asking too. Let the air flow, let the room cool, but let your heart rest. Habit number 5, sleeping flat on your back with a high pillow, the posture that quietly strains the heart and brain. Mrs. Agnes Keller was a proud, sharp-witted 84-year-old who never missed her evening news or her 9:30 cup of warm milk. For the last decade, she'd slept in the same way, flat on her back, with 2 thick pillows propped behind her head. It made her feel secure, especially as she began having occasional heartburn in her later years. "Elevates the acid," she'd say, tapping her chest. "Helps me breathe." Her children, who adored her, always respected her bedtime habits, but they did notice something change over time. She woke up more tired, complained about stiff necks. Some mornings, she was dizzy or had a hard time remembering things. But like most elderly people do, she brushed it off as just old age. One morning, she didn't wake up at all. The cause? A combination of nighttime oxygen deficiency and a silent arrhythmia. Her heart, tired and strained, had given out in the middle of the night. And the trigger? A sleeping posture she thought was helping her, but was quietly suffocating her brain and overstressing her heart. The myth of the high pillow. It's a common practice among older adults. Use a tall stack of pillows, or one thick orthopedic one, to support the head. Some do it for acid reflux. Others believe it helps breathing. And for a few people, it might, temporarily. But the long-term consequences of this sleeping posture can be serious. When you lie flat on your back, with your head bent forward by a high pillow, your neck becomes kinked, compressing the blood vessels that carry oxygen to your brain. At the same time, your airway narrows, making it harder for air to flow freely to your lungs, especially if you have even mild sleep apnea, sinus issues, or reduced lung capacity. Your heart, sensing the drop in oxygen, must pump harder and faster to compensate, often leading to arrhythmias, poor sleep quality, and in some cases, even silent strokes. It's not just a comfort issue. It's a circulatory issue, a respiratory issue, a neurological issue. What the science says, the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke has long warned about the risks of improper sleep posture in older adults. One study found that a misaligned head and neck position during sleep can reduce cerebral blood flow by up to 30%. That's 1/3 less oxygen to the brain every night. Imagine cutting off 1/3 of your oxygen supply for 6 to 8 hours while asleep. Over time, this contributes to morning headaches, memory loss or brain fog, fatigue, even after a full night's sleep. Increased risk of stroke, especially in those with narrowed arteries. Irregular heart rhythms due to blood pressure fluctuations. You might not feel the damage right away, but night after night it accumulates, like a silent leak in a dam. The airway problem. Another serious concern, obstructive breathing. When the head is pushed too far forward by an elevated pillow, the airway becomes compressed. This increases the likelihood of snoring, interrupted breathing patterns, sleep apnea episodes, sudden drops in blood oxygen saturation. These interruptions may be short, but each one jolts the heart awake, forcing it to restart its rhythm over and over throughout the night. For elderly hearts already weakened by age or disease, these nighttime battles are exhausting. A story from my clinic. I had a patient, Mr. Delgado, who always came to his appointments dressed in pressed slacks and a vintage fedora. A proud gentleman, 79 years old, who had recently started forgetting names and occasionally got dizzy upon waking. His daughter, concerned, mentioned that he slept with 3 pillows. When we tested his oxygen levels during a simulated sleep session with his normal posture, his blood oxygen dipped as low as 85%. We adjusted his sleep position, replacing the pillows with a single, medium-height, ergonomic pillow that aligned his head and neck with his spine. 2 weeks later, his dizziness had decreased. His cognition improved. He reported sleeping like he used to in his 50s. Doctor's advice: align the spine, free the breath. Here's what I tell all my senior patients. Choose a pillow that supports your natural posture. Your head, neck, and spine should form a straight line, not a crooked curve. Avoid stacking multiple pillows. One firm, breathable pillow is usually enough. If you suffer from reflux, try raising the head of your bed slightly, 4 to 6 inches, by adjusting the frame or using a wedge under the mattress, not just by stacking pillows. Sleep on your side, preferably left, instead of on your back. This reduces pressure on the heart, improves digestion, and helps prevent airway blockage. Pay attention to morning symptoms. If you wake up with a sore neck, tight chest, or feel unusually groggy, your pillow may be the culprit. What's the right sleep posture? For most seniors, the safest and healthiest position is this: side lying, especially on the left side, head slightly elevated but aligned with the spine, knees slightly bent with a pillow between them if needed, neck fully supported, not pushed forward or drooping down. This posture improves circulation, eases joint pressure, helps the brain clear toxins, and allows the lungs and heart to work harmoniously. A loving reminder. We spend nearly 1/3 of our lives asleep. That means for someone who lives to 90, roughly 30 years are spent in bed. Don't underestimate the power of sleep position. It's not just about comfort, it's about survival. Mrs. Keller, bless her soul, had every intention of being cautious with her health. She ate well, took her medications, stayed mentally sharp. But her nightly habit, formed out of comfort and routine, was slowly choking off the very oxygen her body needed to stay strong. A gentle change with a life-saving impact. Tonight, when you fluff your pillows and settle in, take a moment. Ask yourself, is my neck bent? Can I breathe freely? Does my spine feel supported? Am I giving my heart and brain the space they need to rest? A small shift, swapping 2 pillows for 1, could mean deeper rest, fewer headaches, sharper mornings, and most importantly, more mornings to enjoy. Because sleep should not be a silent threat, it should be your body's safest place. 5. Simple bedtime habits to protect your heart. As a physician who has cared for seniors for decades, I've seen firsthand how powerful small, nightly routines can be in protecting the heart and preserving long-term health. That's why today, I want to share with you 5 simple things you can do before bed, starting tonight, that can help reduce your risk of heart complications, improve circulation, and promote a deeper, safer sleep. These aren't complicated. They don't require special equipment, but they do have a profound impact on how your body heals and rests each night. Let's walk through each of them together. 1. Soak your feet in warm water, 10 to 15 minutes. One of the easiest and most effective ways to support your heart before sleep is something you might already enjoy: a warm foot soak. This gentle habit improves blood circulation, especially in the lower legs, where seniors often experience cold feet, tingling, or numbness. It relaxes the nervous system, warms the body, and signals to your brain that it's time to wind down. A study from Harvard even found that regular warm foot soaks can reduce the risk of nighttime vascular blockages by up to 30%. That's significant protection for your heart while you sleep. Think of it as a quiet ritual, a simple, soothing way to prepare your body for deep rest. 2. Drink a small cup of warm herbal tea or water. I often hear concerns from older patients who avoid fluids at night for fear of waking to use the bathroom. But just a small cup of the right beverage can offer real heart benefits. Warm herbal teas, like chamomile, vong leaf, or a few slices of fresh ginger, help relax blood vessels, ease tension, and improve sleep quality. A small amount of warm water helps prevent blood thickening overnight, which can lower your risk of clots and stroke while you're asleep. This gentle hydration supports the heart by reducing the workload needed to circulate blood through the body during the night. Just be sure to drink it about 30 minutes before bed, and sip slowly. 3. Gently massage the neck and shoulders. Tension loves to build up in our neck and shoulders, especially after a long day. But that tension can restrict blood flow to the brain and increase nighttime heart strain. A gentle 5-minute massage can do wonders. It helps release muscle tightness, improve oxygen flow to the brain, and lower heart rate. When done consistently, this small action reduces dizziness, morning fatigue, and enhances the overall quality of your sleep. You can do it yourself or ask a loved one to help. Just light pressure, circular motion, and a few deep breaths while you do it. This is not just comfort, it's circulation care. 4. Turn off electronic devices and practice deep breathing. The glowing screens of phones and TVs aren't harmless bedtime companions. They delay melatonin production and stimulate stress hormones like cortisol, which raise blood pressure. To truly let your heart rest, power down screens at least 30 minutes before bed. Replace the habit with slow, mindful breathing. Inhale through your nose for 5 seconds. Exhale through your mouth for 7 seconds. Repeat 10 to 15 times. This simple breathing routine relaxes the nervous system, calms the heartbeat, and helps lower nighttime blood pressure, setting the stage for deeper, more restorative sleep. 5. Use the bathroom before you sleep. It may seem minor, but skipping this one habit could increase your risk of a heart event overnight. Here's why. Waking up suddenly in the middle of the night to rush to the bathroom places stress on the cardiovascular system. A sharp rise in heart rate, a sudden shift in blood pressure, and an increased risk of dizziness, falls, or even stroke. By taking a moment before bed to empty your bladder, you help your body rest undisturbed, with fewer nighttime awakenings and fewer stress responses. This is one of the simplest ways to protect your heart while you sleep, and it costs nothing but a moment. Final word from Dr. Kim. You don't need a prescription to care for your heart. Sometimes, a bowl of warm water, a gentle breath, or 5 minutes of quiet massage is the best medicine. So tonight, as you prepare for bed, ask yourself, did I create a safe space for my heart to rest? Did I give my body the tools it needs to heal? These 5 bedtime habits are small, gentle acts of self-care. But when practiced consistently, they can profoundly reduce your risk of heart strain, nighttime strokes, and restless sleep. And if you found these tips helpful, I encourage you to like this video. It helps others find life-saving information. Share it with someone you love, because heart health is something we all deserve. Subscribe to this channel for more trusted advice on senior wellness and longevity. Until next time, sleep well, stay safe, and remember, your heart never rests, so give it the care it deserves. 4 dangerous sleep mistakes to avoid. We often think of sleep as a time of healing, and it is, but only if we allow our body and heart to rest in the right conditions. Unfortunately, I've seen too many patients unknowingly sabotage their health with simple nighttime mistakes. Habits that seem harmless, even comforting, but quietly place tremendous strain on the heart, lungs, and brain. Today, I want to walk you through 4 sleep mistakes that I urge all seniors to avoid. These are not rare problems. They are surprisingly common and fully preventable. Let's take a closer look together. 1. Sleeping in a sealed room. Especially in colder months, many older adults close every window, seal every draft, and keep their rooms completely shut, thinking it keeps them safe and warm. But there's a hidden danger here. A tightly sealed bedroom reduces oxygen flow and traps carbon dioxide, CO2, especially during long hours of sleep. As CO2 levels rise, oxygen levels fall, leading to hypoxia, which places enormous strain on the heart and brain. Seniors with pre-existing heart disease, sleep apnea, or lung conditions are especially vulnerable to oxygen deprivation. Doctors' advice: even in winter, allow for gentle air exchange. Crack a window slightly or use a quiet ventilator or fan on a low setting to circulate air. Fresh oxygen is not a luxury, it's a lifeline, especially for the aging heart. 2. Wearing tight sleepwear. It may sound trivial, but what you wear to bed can significantly impact your circulation and heart function. Tight pajamas, constrictive waistbands, or overly snug socks can impede blood flow, especially in the arms, legs, and around the abdomen. For seniors with diabetes, varicose veins, or vascular disease, this restriction can increase the risk of clots, numbness, or nighttime discomfort. Tight clothing also traps heat and moisture, potentially triggering skin irritation or poor quality sleep. Doctor's advice: choose loose, breathable, cotton-based sleepwear. Avoid anything that squeezes or binds your chest, waist, or limbs. Your blood vessels and your heart will thank you by working less and sleeping better. 3. Staying up late regularly. It's tempting, especially with modern life. TV, smartphones, a quiet house at night. But staying up late can wreak havoc on your cardiovascular system. Here's what happens. Your body's natural repair systems begin around 10 p.m., guided by melatonin and circadian rhythms. Staying awake past this window stimulates cortisol, your body's stress hormone, which raises blood pressure and keeps the heart in a work mode. Over time, chronic late nights can lead to arrhythmias, fatigue, memory decline, and even increased stroke risk. Doctor's advice: aim to be in bed by 10 p.m. Start winding down around 9 o'clock. Turn off screens, dim the lights, and practice deep breathing. Sleep isn't just rest, it's when your heart heals itself. Don't miss the opportunity. 4. Overusing sleeping pills. I understand, sleep can be hard to come by, and it's tempting to reach for a pill to help. But sleeping medications, especially when used nightly, can quietly become dangerous. Many sleeping pills suppress the nervous system, slowing heart rate and breathing. This can increase the risk of nighttime respiratory failure, especially in older adults with reduced lung function. Over time, tolerance builds, requiring higher doses, which worsens dependency and potential side effects like confusion, falls, or morning grogginess. Doctor's advice: speak with your physician before using any sleep aid. Focus on natural solutions: warm foot soaks, herbal tea, neck massage, and breathing exercises. Sleep should come naturally, not be forced with medication that masks deeper issues. Final word from Dr. Kim. These 4 sleep mistakes don't make headlines. They don't feel urgent, but they are silent disruptors, chipping away at your heart health night after night. The good news? You have the power to change them. Starting tonight, so open that window just a crack, loosen that waistband, turn off the TV a little earlier. And if you're reaching for a pill, pause and ask your doctor first. Small adjustments, big difference. If you found these tips helpful, I encourage you to like this video to help others find trusted advice. Share it with someone you care about. You never know who may need this reminder tonight. Subscribe for more honest, practical, and compassionate health insights for seniors. Because sleep should restore you, not harm you. 4 golden rules for seniors to sleep safely and live longer. As someone who's dedicated my life to caring for older adults, I've come to appreciate one timeless truth. The way you sleep each night shapes the way you live each day. You see, restful sleep isn't just about feeling energized. It's one of the most powerful tools you have to protect your heart, brain, and longevity. And yet, so many seniors I meet are unknowingly putting their health at risk with habits that seem small but carry lifelong consequences. So today, I'd like to share with you 4 golden sleep principles, simple, proven habits that can help you sleep more safely and live a longer, healthier life. Rule number 1, sleep before 10 p.m. and ensure good airflow. The timing of your sleep matters more than you think. By going to bed before 10 o'clock p.m., you allow your body to enter its natural healing cycle. That's when melatonin, your body's repair hormone, is produced at its peak, supporting your immune system and helping regulate blood pressure. When you sleep too late, your heart stays in work mode longer, cortisol levels rise, and your nervous system doesn't fully relax. And just as important, make sure your bedroom has proper ventilation. A completely sealed room may trap carbon dioxide and limit oxygen, placing quiet, dangerous strain on your heart and brain while you sleep. Doctor's advice: aim to be in bed before 10 o'clock p.m. Keep a small window cracked, or use a gentle air circulator for fresh oxygen. This combination supports your heart's recovery and helps prevent silent nighttime events like arrhythmias or strokes. Rule number 2, eat a light dinner before 7 p.m. Food fuels the body, yes, but at night, heavy meals can become harmful. Eating too much or too late in the evening forces your heart to work overtime as it tries to support digestion while you sleep. This can lead to acid reflux, elevated nighttime blood pressure, and even irregular heartbeat, especially in seniors with vascular disease or diabetes. A heavy dinner right before bed also disrupts sleep cycles, leaving you groggy, bloated, or breathless by morning. Doctor's advice: have your last meal by 6:30 or 7 p.m. Choose something light, low in salt, and saturated fat, such as steamed vegetables, lean protein, or warm soup. Let your body digest before lying down. Your heart will rest easier when your stomach isn't working overtime. Rule number 3: listen to calm music and practice deep breathing. Mental peace is just as essential as physical rest. Studies show that soft instrumental music or natural soundscapes, like rain or ocean waves, slow the heart rate, ease anxious thoughts, and stabilize blood pressure before bed. Pair this with gentle, deep breathing. Inhale through your nose for 4 to 5 seconds. Hold briefly, then exhale slowly through your mouth. This calms the autonomic nervous system, reduces nighttime palpitations, and improves the depth and quality of your sleep. Doctor's advice: try 10 minutes of peaceful music with low lighting before bed. Practice 10 to 15. Slow breaths before turning off the lights. Your heart and mind deserve this moment of calm each night. Rule number 4: get regular health checkups every 6 to 12 months. Even if you feel fine, I always remind my patients, some of the deadliest conditions are completely silent until it's too late. High blood pressure, atrial fibrillation, irregular heartbeat, and clogged arteries often give no early warning signs. But left undetected, these conditions increase your risk of heart attack, stroke, and sudden nighttime death, especially for those over age 60. Regular checkups catch these silent killers early, giving you the chance to treat and prevent complications before they arise. Doctor's advice: see your doctor at least once or twice a year, even if you feel well. Get your blood pressure, cholesterol, heart rhythm, and sleep health assessed regularly. Prevention is the best medicine, and it starts with knowledge. Final message from Dr. Kim. My friends, sleep isn't just about closing your eyes. It's about giving your heart and brain the space they need to recover, heal, and continue carrying you through life. Tonight, take a moment to reflect on these 4 golden rules. Sleep early, breathe fresh, eat light, rest deep. Calm your mind, breathe slowly. Know your numbers, check in with your doctor. These aren't just habits, they're acts of love for your future self. If you found this video helpful, I encourage you to like this video to let others know this is information they can trust. Share it with a loved one, because every senior deserves the chance to sleep safely and live longer. Subscribe to stay connected to the latest in senior wellness and preventive care. Until next time, take care of your heart, and may your sleep tonight carry you gently into many brighter tomorrows. My dear friends, if you've listened this far, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Because the simple truth is this: what we do at night, how we sleep, how we breathe, how we position our body, matters just as much as what we eat, how we move, or the medicines we take. And yet, sleep is often the most overlooked part of our health routine. We brush off the warning signs: the stiff neck, the dry mouth, the early morning fatigue. We think it's just aging. But sometimes, it's not age. It's our habits. Tonight, we've uncovered 5 seemingly harmless bedtime habits that can quietly place tremendous strain on your heart, lungs, and brain. Slouching asleep in a chair or desk, compressing your chest, suffocating your breath. Covering your head with a blanket, cutting off fresh air, raising CO2. Sleeping right after a heavy meal, pushing your stomach into your heart's space. Pointing a fan directly at your body, triggering vasoconstriction, joint pain, even heart rhythm changes. Lying flat with a high pillow, kinking the neck, starving your brain of oxygen. Each of these habits, alone or combined, can erode your health quietly, night after night. But here's the good news: they're all within your power to change. No surgery, no pills, just a bit of awareness, a shift in routine, and a commitment to better sleep hygiene. One night at a time. A gentle call to action. So tonight, before you go to bed, Look at your pillow. Feel where your fan is pointing. Ask yourself how much you ate and how long you've waited. Think twice before covering your head with a blanket. And if you're nodding off in a chair, get up. Go to bed. Let your heart rest where it's meant to. Because your sleep should heal you, not hurt you. And the choices you make tonight may decide how your tomorrow begins. Share the gift of sleep. If you found these insights helpful, please like this video. It tells me this message is making a difference. Share it with someone you love, a parent, a spouse, a neighbor, or friend. Subscribe for more practical, trusted guidance on senior health and prevention. You might not think it now, but one small change, one shared video, one bedtime tip could save a life. I've seen it happen. I've seen it not happen, and I don't want you or anyone you love to fall into the latter. Final words. Your heart has worked for you all these years, beating through joy, stress, meals, and memories. Isn't it time we returned the favor? Tonight, let's give it the rest it deserves. Sleep gently, sleep safely, and tomorrow, wake up to a brand new day with your heart still beating strong, your mind clear, and your smile ready for whatever comes next. Stay safe, sleep well. Dr. Kim from Dr. Kim's Home Clinic.